Hello there and welcome back to another one of my thrilling videos. It's great to be back. So today we are going to be looking at, I need my notes for this, the JVC GR-D21EK, a mini DV camcorder from 2003. Now it's a good thing that I have my notes today because that's all I could find about the camera. I looked online, I looked everywhere, I looked in some reference magazines, and I really can't find anything about this camera other than the fact that it came out in 2003. And I found that out from finding the online manual. If you are interested in the manual, I will put a link to that in the description. So yeah, what can I tell you? Before we have a look at the camera, I suppose really all I should tell you is that I found this camera in a charity shop, as I always do, for the princely sum of, if I can hold it, I can't remember, £10.50. Come in a nice carry case. I was in my local charity shop and I was like, ooh, and sometimes when you see a carry case or a camera case in a charity shop, they're often empty. So I always run over to them and check. Well, in this case, the JVC was in it. Lovely little camera that it is. So what did I get in the bag? Well, I got 3 batteries, 2 of which were dead, and the one that I'm using on the camera right now was the only one that was working, so happy days. I got the mini DV cassette box that it come in. Fantastic, wow. I got the remote control, which is operational and all good. What else did I get? Oh, can you hear the hum of the DV as well? I also got the AV cables for the camera, the red, white and yellow cables. I got a SCART adapter and I got a over-the-shoulder strap. So I was actually pretty happy with that for £10.50. Everything was working, which was fantastic. Well, I say everything was working. The viewfinder is slightly off. There seems to be some kind of it's not cracked, but it looks like maybe something's come loose in the camera, so there's some like little dotted lines running through when you look through the viewfinder. Little strap that you put your hand inside so that you can do handheld shots using the camera. That was strangely ripped off. Never experienced that before, so I don't know what happened there. So when I went out, I had to take my tripod. So anyway, other than the fact that this camera came out in 2003, what can you expect today? Well, we're going to take a little closer look at the camera so you can just have a look at it, see what's going on, and then I have got just some demonstrations of the menu from this camera, and then I've got about a 5-minute video. I went out and shot around Lowestoft yesterday. I just want to caveat it with, it looks a bit blue, my video, and there's a reason for that. So this camera can shoot in automatic mode and in manual mode, and obviously in manual mode you get further control or more control. And I put it into automatic white balance, changed my mind, thought no, actually I'm going to put it into manual white balance, but I totally forgot. So I should have kind of, every time I was shooting, I should have kind of readjusted the white balance. However, there is a very kind of bluey hue to the video, which if I didn't say anything, you might think that I was trying to be a crafty little cinematographer and tell a story with the colour blue. And Lowestoft is quite a deprived area, so there might be some people that feel quite blue, so maybe that's what it's about. I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. So without further ado, let's have a closer look at this camera. Subsequent to that, there will be some demos of the menu and then a video shot with this camera for your enjoyment, cinematic pleasure. Please let me know what you think of the camera and of the video quality, and I will see you all next time. Enjoy the video. Okay, so as promised, let's take a look at the JVC GR-D21EK. That is a mouthful. But where shall we start? Well, let's start at the front of the camera. Let's take the lens cap off. Let's hold it up there. So at the front here, you can see all the information regarding the lens. And if you're interested in that kind of stuff, I'll just leave that up for a moment. So make sure you got the best picture possible. There we go. And then we have our stereo microphone at the front here. There's a sticker on top here, if you can see that, and it says 16 times optical zoom, 520 lines of resolution, which was a lot back then. So now we're going to go to the side of the camera, and as you can see here, it says up to 700 times digital zoom. Don't use that, it is terrible. I almost swore there. And then there we go, a little reminder that it is a mini DV, so digital video. You've got a DV out, which we'll talk about in a moment, digital effects, digital colour and night scope. So some useful selling points for this camera, I would say. So to open the LCD screen, you almost have to kind of pull and click this out. So the camera will turn on, as you can see here. And that isn't a working LCD screen. Going to turn that off. Now, if we look into the side of the camera just here, we've got a stop button, your rewind button, your play and your pause button, and your fast forward button. And then we also have a night button and a backlight button. Now I haven't shown you any of that yet. I will put a tiny little segment at the end of this part of the video. Effectively that is for night shot, but you have to be in manual mode to use that. And when you press it, a little owl will come onto the screen to indicate that night shot is on. And then backlight is just backlight compensation. So if you need a little bit more light, press that button. But you know, you just have to judge it as of where you are. Now, hidden down here, as you can see, just bring it up to the camera, is a digital out. Now that's really useful because it means that back in the day, as we always say, you could use a firewire to get your picture out in the best possible way. So on the early iMacs, around that time, I owned an iMac in 2004, and that would be the best way to record your image or your video to your computer. So that's really useful. So up here, we've got your viewfinder. Now, like some of the more modern camcorders, you pull this out to activate it. So you can lift it, but to activate it, you have to pull it out like so. So if I just show you a moment, if I just turn the power on, nothing's happening at the moment. If I lift this up, nothing happens. But if I pull it out, you'll hear the camera engage. And obviously you can lift your viewfinder up. As I say, it's slightly damaged. Not damaged, but I think there's like a loose connection. But it still works fine. And then you just got on the bottom here, if you can see that, you've got like a little adjuster so you can make it look good for your eye. So I'm going to shut that, push that back in. That closes the camera up. We're going to turn the power off. So obviously on the back here, we've got the battery. And if you want to take that battery off, there's a little lever just underneath there. We would pull it to the right and that battery comes off. So on the back here, we've got the record button. Press that in and there you go, you're recording. This little area here is for your DC in. So if you want to charge the camera up or leave it connected to a DC output, that's absolutely fine. So let's go here. So here it says menu volume, and that is in relation to this little dial here. So this dial can rotate and it can be clicked in. So that is why it functions both as a menu button and a volume dial. Then we have your telephoto and your wide angle zoom feature. So that's quite self-explanatory, and that now brings us round to the side of the camera. And as I mentioned earlier, you can see right here to here, that was where the strap was supposed to be, but it no longer exists. It must have been ripped off. So as you see here, we've got a little dial here that we can move up and down. We can put it into play mode, we can turn it off, and then we can put it into automatic mode, which is A, and then manual mode is how you use the menu. So if you press the menu button here in automatic mode, nothing will happen. You have to put it into manual mode. And when everything is as it is and you plug it in to charge it up, there is just a little light up here that will come on to indicate that the camera is charging. You have a blank search button, and you also have your snapshot button. Now, unlike modern day kind of video cameras, if you press snapshot, the actual picture that you take is recorded to the mini DV camera. There is no separate way of getting it off. So what else can I show you? Ah yes, so at the top here We have the AV in, so if you want to display it onto an old monitor or TV, then that would be how you would do it. That's also how you would, it's one way of being able to capture the video today alongside the digital out. And then if we open up here, we have another way of capturing the image. We also have S-video. So that's pretty cool. We have an S-video out, an audio video out, or audio visual, some people like to say. And then we also, back round here, we have the DV out. So we have 3 ways to capture the video. That's the best way. That's the second best way. And then that's the third best way, or the last best way. And remember, if you use an S-video cable and you plug that in, that is only capturing the video. It is not recording the audio. So you would still require the audio visual cable to get the sound. Some people don't know that. And then also there is a little edit area here, which is used in conjunction to edit the movies. And I think that is it. I can't think of anything else to show you. I suppose I could show you the bottom of the camera. If you want to take the tape cassette out, it's a simple case of open it like that. Plays a nice little tune. And then put it back in. And then we see the model number on the bottom. So, there we have it. Thrilling as always, but that is the JVC GR-D21EK. And it was a nice little camera to shoot with. I think the only drawback I find from a camera from 2003 was it had quite a small pull-out screen. I know that they increased in size as the years went on, but this is certainly smaller than my first Sony camera, or if it isn't, it feels like it is. But other than that, I would have been really happy with this camera back in 2003. It's a nice compact camera, gives a reasonably good image. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Cheers. So just brought the camera into my back garden. I'm going to just put on the night shot. I'm not expecting miracles, but it's currently off, and I'm now going to press night on. Remember, you have to be in manual mode. So as you can see, it kind of takes a little while, and it's better to have it static. So I'm just going to move the camera ever so slightly. Ooh, you can see it's almost blurry. Going to zoom in a little bit, see how it adjusts. So it's not quite like a Sony night shot where it's kind of got that green hue. It's almost trying to collect as much light. I'm going to zoom back out now. So yeah, not the best, but just wanted to give a demonstration of that night shot. And it seems if you're going to use it, best to use it on a tripod and be looking at something specific and not really moving it. Alright. Okay, so a quick whistle stop tour through the camera's menus, and we're going to start off right here with the wipe fader screen. So we're going to quickly run through these in case you're interested. So as you can see here, it's currently switched off, and as you saw on the demo earlier, they've got a number of different fades available. You've got the fader white, fader black and white, the wipe corner, the wipe window, which sounds horrible, the wipe slide, that sounds horrible, the wipe door, the wipe scroll, and the wipe shutter. Something about those, they don't sound very appealing, do they? Okay, so moving on to the Program AE, Automatic Exposure, and you're probably aware of what these are by now if you've played around with cameras, but currently switched off at the moment. And then you can select to have your shutter in either 1/50th or 1/120th, depending if you want to shoot fast moving or slow moving things. And you can also select sports mode, which I've never done ever, snow mode, what is wrong with me? Spotlight mode, twilight mode, sepia mode, monotone mode, classic film mode, and strobe mode. So next up we just have exposure mode, and you can set that to automatic or manual. Moving on to the white balance mode, so you can have it on automatic, or you can choose to do a manual white balance, which we'll move down to now. Anytime now, here we go. You can then choose fine mode for fine day, cloudy day, or halogen if you're under specific lights. And now we move on to camera mode, and there are a number of little options that you can play around with. So obviously you've got your recording mode, you can change it from SP to LP. Next up, you've got your sound mode. It's currently in 12-bit, but if you choose, you can have it in 16-bit. Then you have your zoom mode. Now I left it in 16 times optical zoom for the majority, but you can have it in digital, 40 and 700. Do not touch 700 ever, because it is terrible, as you'll see shortly. Then you have snap mode. Snap mode just enables you to put kind of a frame or a kind of pin-up feature over the snap itself. Nothing particularly thrilling. And then lastly, you've just got an option to increase your gain onto an automatic setting dependent on the lighting situation you find yourself in. And next up we have manual mode. First off we have the DIS, the digital image stabilization, which you can turn on or off. I always have it switched on, but I just switched it off for the purposes of this video. Your tele macro, so you can get up close and personal. I'll demonstrate that shortly. Wide mode, so cinema or squeeze, but I like to leave it in as classic 4:3 of its time. And then last but not least, you have wing cut mode. So if you're out and about and it's really windy, you can turn this option on to help you improve the sound. Next up we have system mode. First and foremost, you have the option to change the noise of your camera to either a beep or a melody, as you can see there. Then we have tally mode, remote mode, demo mode, priority. This simply allows you to choose the LCD or the viewfinder, and then you can execute a camera reset. And then lastly, camera display. So you can amend the camera's brightness. You have the on-screen display, how you want that to be, either LCD or the TV. Next up we have the date and time, which I've left on automatic, but obviously you can change that. Then you can have time code on or off. I've left it off. And then you have your clock. Pretty straightforward really.